So, ladies and gentlemen, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Today is December 23rd. What's today's date? Not 23rd.
It's the 14th.
December 14th, 2021. My name is Andre Rainey. I'm the proud mayor of the great city of Peekskill, New York, and I'm joined by our awesome city manager, Mr. Andy Stewart. Good afternoon, Andy.
How you doing, Mayor? Great to see you.
Not too bad. Staying busy trying to save the world one day at a time. Nothing new. I want to thank you all for tuning in this afternoon and thank you all for taking time out to share these weekly updates. As you know, we do these weekly updates every week to give you an update on what the city of Peekskill is doing and how we're dealing with the COVID pandemic. And we also try to share some of the happenings in the city of Peekskill so people are fully aware of what's going on, at least to some of the things that we got going on in the city. So without further ado, we'll start off with our COVID numbers and vaccinations. And I'll turn it over to Andy, our awesome city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. So as the last couple of weeks we've been noting, Mayor, the COVID case rate has been steadily escalating in the city of Peekskill. It's come up from just a few dozen cases a week or two ago, up through 59 cases end of November, 96 cases last week, 120 cases as of December 12th, this past weekend. This is according to the Westchester County's data portal on COVID case rates. They have a map there. Anybody can click on it. The Facebook page links to it from the city Facebook. The other thing you can link to there is you can see our vaccination rate, which is the good news side of the equation. It hit 84.3 last report over the weekend. That's up from the low 80s. If you go back to late August, it was 70%. You go back to June, it was only 51. So the city population has steadily achieved higher levels of vaccination. We're actually ahead of some communities, which is nice to, obviously we want everybody to be healthy, but the city of Peekskill's vaccination rate is definitely coming along. The availability for children obviously has been a game changer for a lot of families. And there's some employers who are requiring it and and I think the message is getting out one way or another. You know, the school district and other sources really give a lot of respect to the health agencies and the Department of Health and the pharmacies in particular, like Baxter's right here on Main Street and others that have made that vaccine available to people, making it easy for people to get what they need.
Absolutely.
So that's the report on COVID. Here in City Hall, we continue to have a mask requirement for people coming through the door. And we continue to have a virtual meeting for council of the whole and a hybrid meeting where there's in-person and virtual for common council meetings like what we had last night. That's enabled guests to participate safely if they want to come in remotely. It makes a big difference to a lot of people, I think. There are some municipalities, frankly, Mayor, who are going back to all virtual. And I've just got a note from our corporation council about that. We should take a look at that. The city council decides it wants to go all virtual, we can do that very easily.
Oh, okay, cool. That's interesting. But we only got 2 more meetings for the remainder of the year. One's a committee of the whole meeting and one's a common council meeting. So, or, but thank you for that, Andy. I just want to inform people too. We as the holidays approach, we continue to ask people to use all safety protocols and measures as they can. COVID is not going away, and we know the last couple of years have not been easy on anyone. Staying away from family hasn't been easy. So if you are going to get around family and gather around family, I encourage you to still take advantage of being tested. There are so many places from here throughout the entire Westchester County where they even have walk-in testing locations in the area now. You can just walk in, fill out some paperwork, and wait a few minutes and get tested, and get a rapid test, and get your results by the next day. So I just encourage people just to get tested, just to make sure that you're not carrying or passing, whether you've been vaccinated or not. I think that's important. It's something to keep in mind as we get together for the holiday season.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see a holiday surge of the infection rate coming out of Thanksgiving and all the times people coming together. With the weather being cold too, people are closer together. So that's to be expected.
Yeah. So some other news, the city of Peekskill had our common council meeting last night, as we do every other Monday evening, outside of holiday weeks. And it was a pretty good meeting. One of the things that the city of Peekskill decided not to do, the city of Peekskill did not opt out of the marijuana dispensaries. Some council members, including myself, voted to opt out, but the majority decided that we should stay in. So the dispensaries as well as the marijuana lounges have both been voted to the city of Peekskill staying opted in for those opportunities to come here in the city of Peekskill. So I do hope that more information from the state will come down soon and quickly as we prepare the city of Peekskill to you know cater to those new rules and regulations.
Yeah, the main thing, Mayor, is that there's clarity now for investors who might be looking for a location for a dispensary or a lounge. They know that it's legal in Peekskill. It still has to comply with city zoning for retail operations, and there are other requirements the city can put as far as hours of operation and things like that. One of the concerns that people have voiced relates to traffic, so that will need to be any application will have to go before the planning board and be reviewed for the usual impacts from any new business. It will be interesting to see how it goes. Uh, I'm hopeful that as these businesses develop, that it'll work out.
Yeah, well, we certainly shall see. So looking to see what happens. So that's just one of the things. The holiday season is coming up. This Peekskill City School District just had their ribbon cutting yesterday for their STEAM program. They're inviting the council and myself, and I believe you too, Andy, to a tour within the next week or so. As we had to leave early for our council meeting, but the entire school district is excited. The children are excited. I'm being told that the children were in awe when they got to actually take a tour through the actual STEM room. So it's exciting that the children are getting these opportunities, and I thank the leadership of the Peekskill City School District and all the hard work that they're doing.
Yeah, it was nice to be in the high school building last night, Mayor. It's a beautiful auditorium, and you can just see how proud the school board and the administration and the teachers are of what they've been able to accomplish there with the capital projects for Torpy Field and for the STEAM Center, the Family Resource Center, and the old firehouse, and all these other projects they've been able to move forward with the support of their constituents. It's exciting to see. I think the partnership between the city and the school district is very, very important. Having a good school district is so important to quality of life in the city, and we work together very closely on a whole bunch of different topics.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, any anything you want to share on your end too? I know we were talking about the firefighter, the fire chief position. I know a lot of people are asking questions. Apparently, a lot of the volunteers are just as excited as the career guys, and it's exciting to know that everybody's willing to work together, so we can just have one solid professional firefighter fire department. So this is really exciting.
Right. This is a really big deal, Mayor. You know, the city council said we want to focus on the fire department's leadership structure and make sure it's where it needs to be. We had commissioned an independent expert to review that, has several public meetings and hearings, heard from a lot of people. The determination was made to move forward with a paid fire chief position, which works together with the elected fire chiefs, which come, just to mention it, on this past Friday, the membership of the volunteer fire department elected their 3 fire chief positions as they do. And those roles are very important. I congratulate Chief Sniffen, Chief Kelly, and Chief Sniffen's brother, Jim Sniffen, all of whom won those offices in the fire department. I've talked with the trustees, and I'm having our candidate for paid fire chief meet with the fire chiefs actually tomorrow afternoon to help him get oriented. The individual that we've chosen is subject finally, ultimately, to a city council vote, which will take place on December 27th. But the village of Scarsdale already put their press out there, so everybody knows if they're paying attention. We're one of the most amazing fire chiefs you can find anywhere. Chief Jim Seymour. This is a guy who grew up as a kid in Peekskill. He was like when he was a kid, he was like the mascot for Washington Engine. Then he joined the fire department as a volunteer, ended up getting hired on as a career officer at Peekskill, moved over to Scarsdale to kind of climb the ladder over there, ended up being chief for the last 5 or 6 years. Really an extraordinary record of working in the Scarsdale Fire Department as a combination department too. They have a lot more firefighters paid ones than we do, and they have volunteers as well. And so putting those teams together is his challenge really for the city of Peekskill. That's what the city council is looking to see have happen, and on both sides of the equation, working to make sure that all our firefighters have all of the resources they need to work together to preserve public safety.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's exciting. It is exciting, Andy. We can't thank you and the staff enough for your efforts to making this happen. We watched the city, volunteers. People have really created such a strong narrative that the volunteers and the career guys, men and women, disagree on so many things, but that's it's not necessarily the case. There's just some kinks that needed to be worked out and some changes that people have to adjust to.
mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, change is inevitable and sometimes more necessary than not. And this is one of them situations where it's really going to have a greater, I believe it's going to have a greater impact on the city of Peekskill than it would if we didn't make this decision. So I look forward to seeing more volunteers working with the career chief and firefighters, and I look forward to seeing a solid fire department. The Central House is a state of the art building, and we're lucky to have something like that here in the city of Peekskill. So you know, the team members and the mentality is all we need now to jump on board with the future, and we could be a model city. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and for folks who haven't had a chance to be in the fire department, the meeting on January 1st to swear in the new mayor and the elected fire chiefs and our new fire chief and so on is going to be in the central firehouse in that meeting room upstairs. It's a beautiful room, seats about 200 people easily, and it's part of that firehouse, which is such a huge asset for this city. A lot of people have paid for that. It's we get a lot of good use out of it. Um, there's big work to do in terms of the fire department. Some of those fire trucks are old and will need to be upgraded or replaced in various ways. There's always a need for more training and equipment and kind of personnel work and so on. So the fire chief definitely has the challenges cut out for him. We're looking forward to supporting him in every way possible.
So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. The city of Peekskill stays busy, and I'm proud of it. I'm happy for us, and looking forward to the future. So, do we have any people online, Andy? Any questions on any statements or anything? I know some people.
Yeah, there is some actually. There's some chatter here.
Okay, let's talk about it.
One person's asking, what about New Year's Eve festivities? If you look on our Facebook page, you see the flyer for the ball drop. It's really a famous event in Peekskill. There'll be fireworks, and then the street closure and the ball drop and the showmobile there with a live band. It's really very exciting. We really want to give credit to Kenny Lewis and other volunteers who helped put that together. The police department and Parks and Rec, city staff and others will be there supporting that event. It's pretty exciting, and let's really enjoy it.
Absolutely,
it's a good thing. The tree lighting actually attracted a pretty good crowd a week or so ago, and it's the exact same location and in kind of a similar theme. So that's the answer to that question. I'm not sure. So someone's asking about sort of the mask mandate. That's a recently breaking thing. For our outdoor event, I think we're going to be okay. People will observe social distancing and so on. There's somebody talking about the opting out and the cannabis, just expressing opinions about that. There's been a lot of opinions, pro and con. I'm just reading these comments. The suggestion for a need to focus on law enforcement, et cetera, with the opting in. There will be a revenue stream coming from that to be determined, but there's a local tax. There's a question for you, Mayor, as to, because you voted, you differentiate your vote between the dispensaries and the lounges, and someone's asking for an explanation about that vote.
I've said it on a number of occasions, but there's not enough information for me to approve the dispensary. In every situation that we've had in the city of Peekskill, it seems people just need so much data, but when it came to this, nobody cares about laws, regulations, and data. And as far as the lounges go, some of the community members made some very valid points about, now that it's legalized, there is nowhere for people to actually take advantage of it, whether it's recreational or medical. So I felt like it was in our best interest to support having a location or two or a few or however many the city Peekskill approves in the future, but giving the people a place to actually enjoy it. It's like just like we have a cigar lounge in the city of Peekskill. People go there to smoke cigars. Most of the restaurants offer liquor and alcohol, so we tell people to go patronize the businesses and having a place to smoke with all the regulations. You can't smoke in certain buildings. You can't smoke on certain properties. I don't want to see anybody smoking on the park. I don't care what part of the park they're in. I don't want to be limited to what I can do with my children. I can't go play frisbee in a green space because somebody wants to smoke weed. It's never going to be an issue. That's always going to be an issue for me. My kids don't stay on the slides the entire time we're in the park, so I felt like it was necessary to support the idea of giving people a place to actually enjoy it. Um, but they both were overruled. So people want lounges and dispensaries in the city of Peekskill, and that's what we're gonna get. So now it's just a matter of making sure that we still cater to the community and doing what's best, and for the safety of all of our children, especially in this community, and understanding the impacts that marijuana, not the medical marijuana, but the marijuana on the impacts it's going to have in our community. A lot of people are saying that once the stores are here, we're going to use all the revenue from marijuana to go to kids or go to mental health, and you know we don't do that with. I don't think the city is. I don't think any city actually has ever done that before with any liquor stores. Like I don't all the liquor stores we got in the city. I don't see all that money coming to mental health or anything, and it just seems like it just sounds good, but I don't think anybody has any idea of what the actual money is going to be allocated towards. Um, and the other thing to me too is like people say that allowing weed in the marijuana in the community is one thing, but we already allow liquor in the community, and they say that as if liquor is not a problem. It's like we got 20 liquor stores in the city of Peekskill, so why we can't have 20 weed stores? And to me, I think they say that to make it seem as if we don't agree that liquor is an issue. It's like by saying that doesn't make weed or marijuana more of a valid choice. It's just we have liquor here, and liquor has been an issue. The local police chief, if anybody ever takes time out of their lives to read the reports of the police department, you'll see a lot of the calls on the weekends, especially, are from people who are drunk in the park, people who are drunk at bars, or people who are, a little bit they're too intoxicated to the point they can't stand, and they're, some people get drunk and start fights, and it's not like liquor is not a problem, you know.
That's
And
for
there's
sure.
yeah, there's no comparison. And the other thing is, it's so annoying to me to see people compare every single drug. Like you don't have to compare liquor to crack and crack to weed and weed. It's not about comparison. It's about who's going to be responsible for these children. I've seen so many people in our community drinking with their children, smoking with their children. It's not about comparing. It's, are we responsible enough as a community to make sure that our children don't get easier access to this? But that conversation is to some of these people, it just seems to be unnecessary. It's just the state made it, the state made it legal, so who cares about all of that stuff now? One lady put on Twitter yesterday, I was going back and forth, and she said those aren't priorities to me. I'm sorry, those concerns aren't important to me. So it's just, it is what it is. But the city of Peekskill, the majority decided to opt in for dispensaries, and I did opt in for lounges. Like I said, I do think it's necessary that we have a place where people can enjoy it. I'd rather have a place for people who are of age, um, legal smokers, to have a place to go. And I feel I just don't want to see people kicked out of their apartments and places and everywhere else because it's just banned. But that's just my opinion.
Yep, it's clearly been a hot policy issue over the last year, and there's a lot that's still going to be revealed as time goes on. Um, but at least we have clarity now about where the city sits on the policy, and we can deal with the applications as they come in,
Right.
presumably.
Absolutely. Are
I
there
did
any other?
I want to return to one item here, talking about the mask mandate. Anybody who's following this story knows that the mask mandate applies to indoor locations. It's a rule about wearing masks or showing proof of vaccination. Outdoor is still considered to be much safer than indoor. So I think we're going to continue to see public gatherings of various sorts, and right now the state isn't setting any limit on those. And so I think people can stay safe if they use appropriate actions. Masks are really are a very good thing to do, as well as getting vaccinated for sure. So we support those measures that the state has imposed.
Absolutely.
Um,
We still give out masks. If you want a Peekskill mask, you can still get Peekskill masks. We still have some left. We gave out a good 2 boxes, and I think each box had about 500 in them. So
yeah,
we still have some left. So I'll leave some downstairs as well, as the new year kicks in too. So
that's great, Mayor. Thanks.
yeah. Is there any other questions on there, Andy? Are we all good for today?
I think we're good.
It sounds so sure.
Um, so yeah, I think we're good. Thanks.
Okay, absolutely.
Uh,
All right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Happy holidays. We will see you once more before the Christmas holidays. So next Tuesday when we get on here, we'll be able to say our wishes to having a happy and successful Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. But God bless you all. God bless one of the greatest cities on this earth, Peekskill, New York. Andy, I will talk to you soon, my friend.
all right. Call you later. Bye bye.